if the exposure would be the penalty in the Pre-Finance Act and the penalty in the Finance Act. Is that your question?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, if you do a transaction, let's say you did it in 2018, and that was the tax regime there. So basically, it will be wrong for them to apply what we have in the Finance Act for transaction and offence that was committed in the Pre-Finance Act period. So if they do that, then that's wrong. You need to take it and object to such treatment by the tax authority. So the penalty that existed in the Pre-Finance Act should be applied, and that is more lenient. And of course, if as of today, first as of today, 27th of February 2021, you still not have complied in terms of filing, then the penalty that apply from the effective date of the Finance Act will continue, will apply. So the person will have two forms of penalty, the Finance Act and under the Finance Act. Okay, so that's the position of the law. Thank you. Any other question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Go ahead, sir.
So, my question is, for individuals in a paid employment where employers deduct, remit, and file taxes in form of pay as you earn, is it required that these same individuals that have suffered pay as you earn, that is those employees, is it required that they also file annual tax?
Okay, those that have suffered pay as you earn from their
Yes,
employers.
yes,
Okay, if they are required to file annual tax at the end of the year.
yes.
Okay. Well, okay, when it comes to annual tax filing, those that will file the annual tax ordinarily is their employer. So except when the individual have other source of income, apart from income from
Okay,
employment, then the person will also file annual
okay,
tax. Yes.
okay, okay.
Another,
Thank you.
yeah. Another question?
Yes, I have another one, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead, sir.
Yeah, for example, now filing of VAT is 21st of the following month. So
Yes,
in
sir.
case maybe you didn't do that before the 21st, maybe you now did it on the 22nd or 23rd, are you still guilty of the penalty?
Yes, the deadline is 21st of the following month. So even though you do it on the 22nd, the penalty will take effect on the first day for late filing. So it's 50,000 naira that will be paid in that first period. Subsequently, it's 25,000 naira. So that's actually the requirement of the law on that. So it's very advisable to meet up with that deadline of 21st.
Hello?
Yes, hello, I
Hello?
can hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. If an oil servicing company deducts my VAT at source, how do I reconcile it if I'm filing my source?
You say? You can you come
If
again?
I'm, if the oil servicing company they have the right
Ye-
to deduct both VAT and withholding, if they deduct my VAT, how do I reconcile it?
Okay, if they've deducted the VAT from the source.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, if they deducted, when you are filing your tax form, there is a VAT deducted from source automatically from when you are filing your VAT. So just ensure that the VAT invoice is presented. Look at the actual amount that was paid. That means that the VAT has been deducted. Then you can recoup it. It's automatically. So when you are filing your VAT, you deduct it from source. So basically, if you have any output VAT, okay, just like you deduct your input VAT, you deduct the VAT that has been deducted from source from the oil and service company from you. So the form is not a way of filing a loan. That form that I shared, although I shared one of the two forms, the second one I could share it in our group. I'll share it with you. I couldn't locate it now. That form automatically enables you to deduct the VAT from source for oil and service firm. Okay?
Again, a company that is exempted from paying VAT, what are they going to show me to convince me that they are not, they are not part
Okay, a company is exempted from
of
doing what?
from what the VAT from paying VAT, and I think I know some companies are exempted from paying VAT.
Yes.
So what are they supposed to show me if I have to charge them VAT and they say they're not exempted, they're exempted? How do I get? How am I convinced that they're exempted from VAT?
Okay, the company exempted from paying VAT?
Yes,
No,
yes.
no, companies are not even exempted from paying VAT. Is the transaction a VAT? No, the issue is that is a transaction a vatable transaction, and is the company exempted from charging VAT? Now, if you engage in a
That's what I'm saying.
if you engage in a vatable transaction, and you are not you are a company that can charge VAT, and you charge VAT, but the company you charge VAT to refuse to pay.
Yes,
uh,
that they are exempted from VAT. So what do I do?
No, now if the fact is that they are exempted from VAT, they are saying they are exempted from VAT. No, there's what they call input VAT. You need to understand your customer, and if it's for you to use the input, VAT inclusive approach, that means that the amount you're paying on your charging on the invoice is inclusive of VAT. Then you deduct the VAT and remit, because you know that this company will always tell you that I'm exempted is a problem. The company might not be exempted from VAT because they don't want to pay. That's why they're telling you they're exempted from VAT, because they don't understand what the Finance Act is saying. The Finance Act is saying that they cannot charge VAT, not that they're exempted from VAT, and that's why I emphasize on it. So if you make it VAT inclusive, then you incorporate it and you charge them. So when they pay you, you remit to the tax authority, and that's the way to manage companies like that. So the most important thing is that you are remitting the VAT to the tax office and you're filing your tax return to show how you calculated your VAT in your tax return. So so that's it. That's how you manage those companies. So there are companies like that, and that's how they've been managed.
Okay.
So
Right.
any other question, Mrs. Abibat?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I am. You're welcome, ma. So any okay, because we have a large garden today, you don't want to ask a question, ma. Any question, madam?
I have a question, sir.
Okay, I thought that's fine.
Hello. Can I go
Yeah,
ahead? I have a question. Can I go ahead?
you can go ahead.
My question is, VAT receipts comes in bulk and to the company that remitted.
Yeah?
Now we have vendors that keep on asking us to give them evidence that we paid the VAT. In some cases, we've had to send them, remove other people's VAT, this thing from the schedule, information details from the schedule, leave the total, scan our copy of the check we use in paying, and that's to them. But I find it very cumbersome. I don't know what, and I keep on telling them they can get this information from the tax office. I don't know. But it's a lot of work trying to do that when you have more than 2-3 people asking you for such.
Are you talking?
Is there any better way of doing it?
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I'm with you, sir. I'm with you, madam. Well,
Hello?
Hello, I'm with you. Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm saying that vendors keep on asking us for evidence of tax, of VAT remittance. We give them credit notes for withholding taxes.
Is it VAT or withholding tax?
No, we give them credit notes
Okay.
for withholding tax.
Okay.
But
Okay.
VAT doesn't have. They keep on asking us for that. I'm just
Okay.
asking, what can one do?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I get your question now. I get your question. So it's VAT you're talking about. So that's good. So those vendors
Yes,
that are asking for evidence, what they don't want to use that evidence for? Actually, when it comes to VAT, there is a input output process. It's a self-recovery. The point is that before you when you do a transaction, they supply to you. When they supply to you,
yes.
then they charge you VAT. When they charge you VAT in their invoice, you pay them the VAT. Now, if you did not pay them the VAT, you've deducted the VAT from source and you've remitted the
Yes, we
VAT.
do.
So when you've
Yes.
deducted it from,
Yes.
is that the two scenario? So the fact that you've deducted it from source and you pay them the remaining amount that is left, that what you give
That
to
is
them.
our case.
Uh,
Yes, that is what we do.
So since you do that from source, then they can use that form, the VAT filing form. They've given an invoice, they've gotten the payment advice.
Okay.
They have a VAT recoup. That's why we have that VAT invoice 002. They will fill it. Can recoup their VAT directly from FIRS. Now, they will only ask you because of maybe the tax audit. Normally it's not their problem.
When they are doing tax, that's when they normally ask us for it.
Yes, that's why they'll ask you. So normally the onus is on FIRS to meet your company, and if you've not been remitting the deducted VAT, and your company will have to pay fine for that. But FIRS have
No,
laid
we always
down
do.
FIRS has laid down administrative procedure for recovering VAT deducted from source. So, and that is
We always do on a monthly basis.
So that is what your customer or your client should use. What they need is the invoice they presented to you and the payment advice.
Okay.
And when they have the two, they know the VAT that you deducted from source, and they will use that form,
Okay.
form 002, to recoup. Maybe I'll try and look for that form and share with you. So to use that form to recoup the VAT you deducted from source. That's what they need. So the only point is that if there's an audit and they still need evidence that you that deducted the VAT from source, you are remitting. What you are going to send to them is basically the remittance you've done and the schedule. There's a schedule that comes with remittances. The stamped one, the stamped schedule by the FIRS, and it will show their name. It will show their name that yes, this amount, that this check or this amount that was paid is for this schedule, and it is stamped. When you give them that one, that's just we are going the extra mile for them. But because of
Thank
they are
you.
not well educated. If they're educated, the invoice they've presented is a legal invoice. They call it tax invoice, and it's not just an ordinary paper. It's an invoice that they can use to recoup the VAT, and there's a payment advice that the payment you made to them. Basically, they give you an invoice of 107 naira 50 kobo, and you only pay them 100 naira. They have a payment advice of 100 naira. The difference of 7 naira 50 kobo is the VAT that you deducted from source. So they already have their evidence that VAT have deducted from source. With that, they can recoup their VAT through the form 002. So if they want to go the extra mile, just give them the check and the schedule stamped by FIRS, and that will be fine. Okay, any other question before?